Hello, James Preston with you, and thanks for tuning in to 𝐊𝐚𝐥 TV live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Stocks in Action show. Well, first up, let's take a look at the ASX200 and the ASX listed stocks that are trending today. The S&P ASX 200 is up today, gaining 79.1 points or 1.08% to 7,391.4. The top performing stocks in this index are Iluka Resources up 7.95% and ResMed up 6.5%. Over the last 5 days, the index has gained 1.35% and is currently 0.00% off its 52-week high, which is getting very close to once again seeing that sector. 10 of 11 sectors are higher along with the S&P ASX 200 index. Healthcare is the best performing sector, gaining 1.79% and 2.67% for the past 5 days. On Friday, the Australian benchmark index continued its momentum, closing at an all-time high level of 7,312.3. On that note, let us quickly glance through some significant market movements globally. US stocks closed flat on Monday, June 14, ahead of a crucial meeting of the Federal Reserve in which senior officials are expected to take stock of the current inflationary pressures. The S&P 500 was up 0.18% to 4,255.15. The Dow Jones declined 0.25% to 34,393.75, and the Nasdaq Composite rose 0.74% to 14,174.14, and the small cap Russell 2000 was down 0.41% to 2,326.15. The benchmark 10-year yields ticked up 4 basis points on Monday to 1.5%, trying to rebound after falling to a 3-month low of 1.43% on Friday. In March, the benchmark yield was trading at a 1-year high of 1.78%. The bond market is cautious ahead of the US Fed's meeting on Wednesday, looking for new indications on when the central bank would likely begin paring back its unprecedented money stimulus. In currencies, the US dollar fell slightly on Monday after logging its largest weekly gain in over a month, gaining over 0.4%. The dollar index fell 0.056 points on Monday itself. Bitcoin also bounced back again from the lower levels in the cryptocurrency market after Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted that the electric car maker could reopen the door to Bitcoin transactions in the future. Bitcoin then surged past US $40,000 for the first time in more than 2 weeks and is trading at US $40,209 as of 7:16 Australian Eastern Standard Time this morning. Other popular cryptos such as Ethereum and Dogecoin are also up by 2.11% and 0.13% respectively. On Monday, gold prices slipped as much as 1.7% as investors feared the US Fed might start chalking out a path for scaling back its monetary policy at a 2-day meeting this week. Spot gold fell 0.7% to US $1,863.98 an ounce by 1:43 p.m. EDT after hitting a low of US $1,848.46, its lowest level since the 17th of May. The US gold futures closed the session 0.7% down at US $1,865.09. Copper prices also plummeted on Monday amid fears that China would take action to curb the rising prices of the red metal. July delivery for copper futures traded 0.24% down at US $4.51 per pound as of the 15th of June 2021 at 10:27 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Copper futures hit all-time highs of US $4.09 per pound in the second week of May. Lower investment in the sector coupled with a slump in production during the coronavirus outbreak has brought the inventories to 15-year low levels. Contrarily, huge support in the form of COVID recovery funds, including trillion-dollar stimulus packages, has increased the demand for the red metal. Additionally, the worldwide transition to a carbon-free world to become carbon neutral by 2050 has also increased the demand for copper, a significant metal used in almost all green energy applications. And now, before we take a look at more trending updates right here on 𝐊𝐚𝐥 TV, including a look at crude oil, it's time for a very short break.
Property by 𝐊𝐚𝐥𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐞. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on 𝐊𝐴𝐼NE TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐊𝐴𝐼NE.
At 𝐊𝐼NE TV, we'll take you to the heart of the Australian equity market. We'll bring you breakthrough stories that highlight volatility, as well as tailwinds building across the length and breadth of markets. Whether space travel will gain momentum, while economies may gradually open amid vaccine rollouts, our experts will share their timely inputs. So join us on this exciting journey of live streaming, financial and stock market news. 𝐊𝐼NE TV.
Thanks for sticking with us on 𝐊𝐼NE TV. James Preston with you. It's great to have your company live from our studios in Sydney. This is the Stocks in Action show. Let's now take a look at the crude oil updates. Crude oil traded flat on Monday after hitting nearly 2-year highs on dampened expectations for fuel demand and tighter supplies. August delivery of Brent crude oil futures traded down by 0.01% at US $73.11 per barrel, whereas July delivery of WTI crude oil futures traded at US $71.04 per barrel, up 0.23% as of the 15th of June, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The growth in US crude oil production and delay in Britain's COVID-19 reopening has disturbed the market equilibrium and dampened the expectations for demand. The US shale oil is expected to rise by about 38,000 barrels per day in July, as per the recent forecast by the United States Energy Information Administration. On Monday, Britain has decided to delay all plans of lifting COVID-19 restrictions by a month because of a rapid surge in coronavirus's new variant, the Delta variant. Well, on that note, let's have a look at some major news from the ASX listed companies. But first, let's have a little look at one of Australia's big banks. Suncorp Group said that it might face losses to the tune of $50 million on account of claims from the severe weather in Victoria over the weekend. In an update on the recent severe weather affecting regions across metropolitan and regional Victoria, the Australian Finance, Insurance and Banking Corporation said it had received nearly 3,750 claims, predominantly for property damage. Suncorp further said that the claims may surge in the coming weeks as the full extent of damage caused by the heavy rain, severe winds and flash flooding is still unfolding. Moving on, and MoneyMe has provided a trading update for the month ending the 31st of May 2021. The company reported record originations of $57 million in May 2021, and the group is experiencing significant traction in the newly launched secured vehicle finance innovation, AutoPay. Originations accelerate, with the group achieving a 384% growth over the previous corresponding period. Strong early performance for AutoPay, after launching in late April 21, exceeded $1.2 million in cars financed in May 21 and on a trajectory to more than double that in June 21. The company release stated that it has generated $1.3 million in originations of AutoPay within the first 6 months from its launch. Meanwhile, the ASX-listed Saturn Metals has announced some significant results from ongoing reverse circulation drilling at the Apollo Hill deposit within its 100% owned Apollo Hill gold project, which is located 60 kilometres southeast of Leonora in the Western Australian goldfields. As per the company's release, another resource upgraded is planned for later in 2021, utilising the results from the next 20,000 metres of drilling planned across the Apollo tenements and the 29,000 metre already completed between January and May. All right, before we take a look at some more trending updates, it's time for another very short break here on 𝐊𝐶𝐴 TV, but please stay with us.
Property by 𝐊𝐶𝐴. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest lowdown on the property market, tune in on 𝐊𝐶𝐴 TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐊𝐶𝐴.
Welcome back to 𝐊𝐶𝐴 TV. James Preston with you. Great to have your company. We are live from our studios in Sydney, and this is the Stocks in Action show. Let's now turn our attention to 𝐵𝐸CO, who today shared that it has a robust commitment for a two-tranche placement to raise around 2 million Australian dollars at an issue price of 3.5 per share. The company will be undertaking a share purchase plan to raise around about $500,000 in capital. As per the ASX announcement, the company will be funded for a drilling and exploration program that extends into October and to take ahead the exploration activities at the company's East Kimberley project. Eden Innovations is also in the news after it shared an update on continued 𝐸DEN-CRETE sales and marketing progress in the Colorado infrastructure market. The company shared that 𝐸DEN-CRETE has been specified in shortcrete that is to be used in the restoration of East Portal of Moffat Tunnel. Also, the release said that 𝐸DEN-CRETE trialled on I-70 in Vale Pass paving project trials. Moving on to the next news, and Azure Metals has shared that it has discovered 7 drill hole intersects with significant nickel copper sulfides at the VC07 mineralised corridor on the Andover project. With this, the company reports that drilling continues to be a great success, with more and more zones of nickel copper sulfide mineralisation within the VC07 corridor and surrounding regions. Compared to earlier drilling, these intersections are coincident with electromagnetic conductors, which confirms the very strong association of nickel copper sulfide mineralisation with electromagnetic conductance. The western part of VC07 shows substantial mineralisation with multiple mineralised drill hits and numerous nearby electromagnetic conductors that are yet to be drilled. And finally, Cobalt Blue Holdings has received firm commitments to raise $15 million Australian via a two-tranche share placement to institutional, sophisticated and professional investors. Issue will be through new fully paid ordinary shares at 30 cents per share and 25 million free attaching options excisable at 45 cents each on or before the 15th of August 2022. The placement was well supported by a number of domestic and offshore institutional investors, and as per the company release, the proceeds will be used to accelerate construction of a demonstration plant. Cobalt Blue is now fully funded to complete construction of the demonstration plant to provide battery-grade cobalt sulfate to end users and potential strategic partners. All right, well, that is all for us for now, but make sure to stay tuned to 𝐊𝐶𝐴 TV for more live market updates. We'll be back with more news on markets, the economy and diverse themes and sectors. Sage will be with you next for the Mid-Market Pulse. I'm James Preston for 𝐊𝐶𝐴 TV.